to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucius, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience. Yes, sir. We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
I got.
Happy Athletics LLC, everyone. Oh man, isn't it funny how like we're in August now and we think that things are slower and yet things seem to be more chaotic? It's because they're not structured, right? We don't have any structure to know where we're going to be at a certain time and anticipation. So with that being said, welcome one, welcome all. We're here for another fun episode and let's get it started. So we'll loft this one up. Commonwealth Lamar, how are you feeling nowadays, sir?
I'm good. My body almost knows what time zone I'm in, just in time for me to travel again in a couple weeks. But yeah, as my background says, the trip was successful.
To say the least.
To say the least.
Clyde, how are you today, sir?
August might be my least favorite month of the year for so many reasons. August always feels like chaos. Now, I know that I root for chaos, but not in my life. Not in my life. So I do not enjoy the month of August for the most part.
That's funny. Sir Lucius, how are you, sir?
You know, I'm exhausted too. Big league. I am ready to be home. I'm ready to be on vacation. I'm just ready. And that's all I got tonight. I'm tired. I'm tired. It's been a long year.
Right.
I am traveling with a few of the crew the last week and ready to get back. I am in Monaco currently, and I'm ready to get back to the States.
It's so
Can
funny.
I say? Go ahead. I was just going to say two things with that. One, what a great way to end the season before you start the season in Monaco. That's a wonderful place to end the season.
Yes, it is.
And
it is.
And two, I don't think people who sort of like track really understand how fatiguing track can be. I mean, that's what Sir Lucius looks like after going home from World Championships, regrouping, and then going to Budapest and then Monaco. Like he didn't have to race in those places, and he doesn't have the rest of the Diamond League to go and the Diamond League final. So like, I want people to understand, like, in order to do the entire Diamond League season as a track and field athlete, it's is it 4 continents? Is there a Diamond League meet? It is. I know there's North America, Africa, Asia, and Europe. I just can't remember if there's a Diamond League meet in South America. But
no,
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Right. So Sir Lucius has signed up to take a vacation from his quote unquote vacation in Monaco at this point.
Completely.
This wasn't quite the vacation, considering that they seem to have. Well, we know where my bag is, but no one seems to be willing to put it on a plane so I can get to me. So it's just sitting, and I don't know where it's sitting, but I know where it is. I just don't know where exactly it is. But so
your bag is in Hungary.
It's in Austria. It was in Vienna.
Oh, it's in Vienna.
And that's all I know. That's all I got. It's at the airport in Vienna. That's all I got.
This is the only piece that makes you human, like the rest of us, is that your bag got lost.
Sure.
The stuff he has no control over, right?
Right, exactly. Right. Governor, how are you today, sir?
August, madness, chaos. We had our first full staff meeting today, and it's like a subtle reminder that I did not get a vacation. Me personally, I mean,
yep.
So here we are. We're a couple weeks away from school starting, so just trying to get my mind right. That's it.
Governor, you know I love you, right?
Yeah.
but I didn't need you to remind us that school was 2 weeks away. I did. I did not need
My
that
bad.
reminder.
My bad.
You know you my guy. Man, let me tell you.
Or in some cases, next week.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because that's when the incoming freshmen will be on campus next week. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. So
If it makes y'all feel any better, I still have a player I'm trying to get into school.
yeah.
nope, does not make us feel better. Nice try.
It doesn't.
Appreciate the effort to help make us feel better.
I mean,
For effort, sir.
not to delay things here, but Lucius will have 2 more people signed in the transfer portal before his plane lands
That's right.
back in America. So no.
Wow.
That was funny.
Shots fired.
That was funny. Wow. Well, I mean,
and for the record, let me, like, I'm not gonna defend myself here, but I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. Like, you guys all know when this whole portal thing happened, I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna stay with the high school kids. And then we got our heads beat in the first year, and I'm like, I think we better look into this portal thing, right? And it's kind of lost its mind, but
Survival of the fittest, baby. Do what you do.
exactly. Got to do what you got to do.
exactly. We want to keep
I mean,
collecting these paychecks.
It truly helps to be a destination school and program in the world of the portal. It truly
Absolutely.
helps.
It does. And the thing is, now once you sign them, you got to coach them.
100%.
Dang it.
And they'll be here. They'll be here in 2 weeks, right, Governor?
Man. All right. Well, with that being said, even though it's been non-collegiate for us right now, there's a lot of track that's been going on in this Passover time, the NCAA would call it Passover time. We've had various professional meets, championships, things of that nature. So to just glibly go over, because we like our jobs, the U20s championship happened in Cali, Colombia. The governor was so awesome, and he was there in person. There are a lot of records that were broken. Governor, just tell us about a few things that you saw. Nothing specific in regards to who, but what you saw.
First of all, I feel like there was a lot of retribution that was going on in terms of, kids that might have been, overlooked, kids that might have been, passed over or whatever. It clearly was an opportunity for those kids to really show what they can do. The results were unbelievable, I'd say, across the board. The USA team, I mean, they came out and did what USA does, but Jamaica to out-medal the United States, that was quite remarkable. USA won the medal table because they had the most gold medals, but in terms of the most medals period, Jamaica got 16, I believe, and USA got 15. So
can we explain that for the audience? Because I know a lot of people, including myself, have been confused about that in the past. Why does Team USA win the medal table for most golds if we are out medaled overall?
Right. So that's always been a point of contention and a question that's always been put up in the air. My only guess is that gold medals mean more as far as the total. But I've never heard about points. I've never heard about, points allotted to, a medal of a specific persuasion. Mm-hmm. But clearly, in all the championships I've ever been a part of, the country with the most goals wins the medal table. And it's very strange. We could probably go back, I remember the 2000 Olympics, the 04 Olympics. There was some questionable, in terms of the, who won the medal table. And it's a big deal. It is a
No,
big
yeah, it's a huge deal.
federations, countries, governments, you know, it's a big deal. So
We do not have any proof or like that. We don't know that there's a point system attached to the medal table.
No,
Okay.
I've never seen the thought process or the, you know, any nuts and bolts behind, you know, how they do this. But it was said going into the 4x4 that the United States needed to win the 4x4 on the men's side in order to win the overall medal table. And, you know, they won and they won. So, but I don't know. Someone needs to bring that to the fore, I guess, to answer that question.
Well, I have a question, Governor. Who?
Yes.
Was it American that was saying this?
No. This was someone from World Athletics.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on the broadcast too.
Yeah, like they literally said, USA has to win the 4x4 in order to win the overall medal table. And
Interesting.
That is interesting, yeah.
It is.
So my takeaway from afar about U20s, I mean, obviously it was a very exciting meet, and you know, as Chu alluded to, we're not going to get into the specifics of any individual performances because of, you know, proper etiquette and recruiting things. But across the board, I would say, especially in events where Americans are thought to traditionally be dominant, that ain't the case no more. And you know, from our perspective, you know, we're an American centric show. I think that's fair to say. We need to step our game up across the board, because if those trends at U20s continue for the next 2, 3, 4 years, there are going to be a lot of problems in the medal table moving forward.
Okay. So, you know, and we talked about this. We did not medal in the women's side in the 100, 200, 400, 400 hurdles at the World Championships.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it sounds to me like this is a continuing trend. You know, that's you know, that we need to step our game up.
Well, it's interesting. I was, you know, privy to be on a coaches panel. They have a coaches clinic that Wendy Vereen is a part of, and you know, she corralled me and had me come on, and you know, and so just in all the conversations that were coming up, one of the issues was, you know, why the representation at the USA U20 meet is not where it should be, you know. And
now that's a great question.
Exactly. And that is, you know, so when you have the Brooks meet, you have the Nike meet, you have the New Balance meet, and these athletes are being wooed to go to these meets. And the general consensus is that, well, if I go to U20s, I'm going up against college freshmen, right? Why am I going there to do this when I can walk away with this nice shiny bag?
Right.
Or
I mean, call it what it is, you know? So when you have all of these things that are just being layered on top of each other, and it's pulling away from what should matter is, here's an opportunity to represent your country, right? And
that's what used to matter. That used to be the draw.
I mean, the representation in certain events at USA's was absolutely deplorable. It just was. No one showed up, you know. So
not to go too far down that rabbit hole, because I'm sure we could get all the way down there. I
want to go down the rabbit hole, but I'm not used to the thing, so I'm coming down the rabbit hole.
There you go. All right. Well, we're here now. All right. So I know this will never happen.
Might as well go all the way down.
I know this will never happen, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. It would be really nice to see the shoe companies, because those are the sponsors of these quote unquote national championship summer meets, right?
Mhm.
For the betterment of the sport, it would be awesome to see those people come together, put on one competition every year and rotate it. So if, for example, if Nike wants their meet to be in the cathedral, great. Next year, it's the Nike meet in the cathedral, but all the sponsors get to throw their swag around.
Mhm.
And then the next year, it's the Adidas meet in New York, and everybody gets to throw their swag. Like, we don't need 4 and 5 of these meets. And if you get all the high school kids in one place and then give them there's a 2-week break, then I imagine USA's would, U20s would be more.
Unbelievable.
But
Yeah.
I mean, for the betterment of the sport, can we do that? I know it ain't gonna happen, but hey.
Okay, so let me venture down this hole that you guys have dug and now widened for me, and make it easier for me to fit myself into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to say to you is this. Okay, like I'm not going to buy into this, that it's not well advertised. I'm not going to buy into it that the other meets are up against it, because that's been going on for a while, right?
Mhm.
What I'm going to say to you is that the problem is simple. Like, okay, the high school kids have always, the good ones have always wanted to go to this meet and go head to head against the college freshman, anybody else in the country.
Right.
So if there are people avoiding this, it again lends to the problem that we have and are going to continue to have. Then they're dodging competition.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So there's my deal, because like everybody, if you want to make the under 20 team, when the meet is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
If you want to make the under 20 team, and your coach this is on our schedule, this is our goal, because there are kids that showed up, high school kids that showed up and ran well.
Yes, they did.
Right? So my thing is that, okay, I think it's an excuse. It's a way of, trying to mask the issue we have here. And the bottom line is that, okay, if I am a good high school athlete and I want to represent my country, if I'm afraid to face the college freshman when I'm a high school senior, right, why am I supposed to think I'm not going to be afraid when I'm a college freshman?
Yeah.
To face the collegiates and the post collegiates in the senior competition.
Exactly.
There's my issue.
So are we laying that at the feet of the coaches?
So you're going there.
I kind of feel like I am.
You're going there. So I am. I'll say this,
exactly. Yeah.
I think part of it is that, one, the coaches don't understand that system. They don't understand that the U20 system is like the foreshadow for the Olympics, in making the world. I'm sorry, the Team
Larissa
USA.
and Chu, they do understand this.
No, so wait, hold on. Let me finish.
No. Let me finish, because and I'm sorry, but these are the same people that have been having people go to these meets for ages.
Yeah.
Okay, they're ages. Okay, so let's call it what it is. They're ducking competition. I don't want my kid to go there because he might get beat or she might get beat and they might lose their confidence. Okay, so they got to see him eventually.
Well, and I think, but the other part
you can't duck them forever.
I think that they don't want to, and this is very outlandish of me to say, them getting to Cali, Colombia to be there for their athlete, because the athletes can register their coaches and the coaches can travel, or they can just travel, and being them for them. I as a coach am insecure to relinquish that power to give it to the event group coach for Team USA and say, do your best job. Fearful of that. Fearful of this child is, and they are children at that point, this child isn't ready for this level, because that's what I believe, versus letting them experience it. And whether they have the failure, learning how to deal with that and kind of grow past that, those things. So when I say on the unknowing of the coach of how the athletes are going to react. And that's, I have specific examples, like, of course, whenever anybody wants to have a conversation off air about this, but it's really unfortunate that these coaches are shielding for their own self, and then for the protection of their athlete, because they will come undone. And it's like, you're letting them go, quote unquote, in the next couple of years anyways, supposedly. We know that's not true either. So go ahead. Sorry, I'm done.
I wasn't going to weigh in on this topic, right? The
But here we are.
the hole was deep, and people were already in it, and there wasn't any. And you know what? Listen, at the end of the day, I'm here with the backhoe to make this hole large enough for a whole city to fit in. If you want to make an Olympic team, the very first thing that you need to do is make a junior team. If you want to coach, it's the best predictor. If you want to coach at the highest level, if you want people to talk about you in the ilk of the best coaches at this level, then you better figure it out. You better figure out how to have your athletes there, and you better figure out how to have them ready to go, both at the junior meet and at the world championship meet. Because here's the truth. The athletes want to go. And when you try to hide them from it, and, oh, we're not going to do that, and we're going to do this, and all that stuff for yourself as an age group coach and a club coach, when you're trying to protect your own skin and your own pride, and you don't want to bang against the college coaches, and you don't want to actually see whether all the smack that you talk on the internet is true, right? If you don't want to do any of that, when your kid gets to college the following year, and one of these wonderful coaches on the panel coaches them, and then they go to juniors and they crush people, right? Or worse, they're really good. They go to juniors and they're a little tight because they haven't been at this level. That's your fault.
Yeah.
If look, in the sport of track and field, your talent level dictates who you have to go against, right? Like, look, let's talk about the elephant from an age group perspective. Ariane Knighton should be at these junior meets and at these junior competitions, punching people in the face, right? But but here's the truth, right? Look, it was like when Will Clay graduated from high school early to go into college his second semester of high school, right? Your talent dictates where you should be and who you should be competing against, not your age.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
I was on junior teams with people who were, the junior team I made my freshman year in college, I was on the junior team with somebody who was on their third junior team.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who had made a junior team at 15. So at the end of the day, the idea that you can hide them or hide yourself or any of this nonsense away from the best competition on the planet is dumb, because the track and field, just like baseball, just like soccer, are global sports, and being the best fish in your little pond is dumb. So let's move on to something better. If people don't want to compete, look, I've said this a million times, and Sir Lucius laughs every time I say it. If you're scared, get a dog, because in the United States, we don't coach no punks.
So I'm gonna throw this in there because it's too good not to. Obviously, everybody comes to this profession of coaching from different angles, right? My path was, I started out coaching 9-year-old little kids, quickly jumped up to coaching high school kids, and founded a club program. The only goal we had every year was to get to the junior meet. Like, that was the whole thing. And, probably my most successful junior, athlete at the time, youth athlete, was Jacqueline Coward, who broke high school national records in the hurdles. Well, no one cared at US Juniors. We had to go in there, and she got her head busted by Queen Harrison and Christy Castlin, who were freshmen at Virginia Tech at that moment. And you know what? It was the best possible thing that could have happened to her, because she had to regroup, come back in 2 days, and make the 400 hurdle team, running 57:20 in high school, because she was pissed off that she got her head busted by, college people. And honestly, that experience for me as a coach was the moment where I realized, like, actually, you know what? I can do this thing at the next level. So all of you high school coaches, club coaches who got a lot to say, if you want to know how you measure, get your kids to the U20 meet and find out, because you're never going to know otherwise.
Yeah. And a Team USA kit's way cooler than a New Balance or Nike backpack. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Just
the
saying.
swag is better if you make the team. I assure you.
I mean,
Listen,
and
it's
a lot
it's
more.
as good as making an Olympic team when you're 19 years old. I promise
So,
you.
man. But something that was said earlier, I'm going to segue. The lack of presence, as we stated it to be, and whatnot, of Team USA. Obviously, there was a lack of presence at Commonwealth because that's not a thing. But the overwhelming new presence, not maybe new presence is really strong, unseen presences in the recencies of other countries, right? Like we had some not out of nowhere, but unexpected wins in the field events. You know, there was a comment made like the African countries are doing a lot, winning a lot, you know? So, I mean, let's shift gears to Commonwealth specifically first, and just all the, I mean, okay, hold on. We said it, well, I think we didn't record yet whenever it happened, but the show came out on the day that it happened, or days that it happened. Congratulations to Lyndon. Well, I'll take a round of applause for myself, even though I wasn't there. Legend won Commonwealth in the decathlon. So that was super awesome. But I mean, there are tons more things that were awesome that happened there as well.
Well, I mean, that's Lamar's. He was there. So, sir, educate us on Commonwealth.
I was once colonized by the English games, as I like to call them. It's an amazing experience. I will tell you this, as someone who's from the United States, clearly a country that was not colonized by Great Britain.
They tried.
Listen, they tried. They did. They tried with all their might. They tried. You know, look, I'm not one of those people who like counts flags, but I'll say this: when you look up at the flags at the stadium, you think you're at the Olympics, because there's a lot of countries that are in the Commonwealth. And you know what's funny? This was one thing that I did get to see. I want to share this with the fans that I thought was cool that most people don't think about. When you go to the Olympics and World Championships, Great Britain competes as Great Britain. But in the Commonwealth Games, it's just England and Northern Ireland and Wales and Scotland. It's awesome to see those people compete for their own flags. And that was cool to see. That was cool to see. But yeah, like, look, the Commonwealth Games ended up being like the greatest junior varsity track meet in the world, right? Because when you first got there was a whole lot of talk about the people who are in the Commonwealth who weren't competing at the meet, right? Shelly Ann and Sharika didn't compete, but Elaine did. And, you know, Chopra didn't compete for India, but Anderson Peters did. There was a lot of those conversations. Let me just tell you something. Nobody at the meet who was competing cared. I mean, sub 11, sub 22, 49 seconds. I mean, Anderson Peters went there as an overwhelming favorite in the javelin. And the guy who won,
Pakistani.
He's Pakistani. His PB was 86 meters. He threw 86 meters on the first throw, came back on his third throw and threw 88 meters. Anderson passed him and went 88.60 and thought he had the meet one. And then the Pakistani threw 90 meters and was like, what?
Yes.
Right? He beat the world champion. And it was just like, and it's not like he threw poorly. I mean, Anderson threw 88 meters twice, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of thing happened time and time again at the meet. And it was, honestly, was amazing to see the battles within the African countries and the relays. It was interesting to watch the English put together relays, because from time to time there's a person who competes for Great Britain but isn't English. So there was a piece missing. It was very interesting. It was very interesting. And then, you know, like every time you go to a meet, right, you kind of know who the big dogs were. And this is my first time I've coached at the Commonwealth, but I coached the Hammer, and it was different. Like, this is the first time I was like really, really engulfed in the meet. And it was interesting to see that, like, if you take the United States out, all of a sudden, right, and you take the Europeans for the most part out, all of a sudden now the big dogs at the meet are England, Australia, Jamaica,
South Africa, Canada.
Nigeria, Canada,
Mhm.
South Africa.
Yeah.
India is a huge player. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is awesome. You know, it was absolutely awesome. And like, look, the one thing I was going to say about the junior meet, I'm going to say also about the Commonwealth meet. Like, it used to be, you could tell what meet you were looking at in general by the marks. That's not the case anymore. Like, people run sub 13 at every meet. I mean, the men's hurdle race was run in 13:08 by a Jamaican dude I had never heard of until then. And then, of course, I now have heard of him. But it was a lot of that. And what I thought was really cool is, like, Commonwealth Games really and truly showed you how global and how deep the sport of track and field is, right? Like, you took, I mean, look, we talk about this all the time. The track and field is Euro-centered, and there was almost no European nations in the meet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the meet was still really, really, really good.
So
Well,
on that point, I'd like to pause there on that point, because, okay, so as an uber fan of the sport, watching from afar on TV and internets and wherever I could find the meet, right? Here were my immediate takeaways from just observing the Commonwealth Games. First of all the people that talk about our sport is dead and dying, that's just not true. There's no evidence for that.
It's not even close to true.
Like, it's not remotely true. Second, the UK, I'll put it that way. It is undeniable that the UK is our #1 fan base, period. Okay.
Time out.
Yes.
To that point, the stadium had been expanded. To those of you who've been to Birmingham but haven't been to the new Birmingham, the stadium with non-permanent seating had been expanded to 33,000 people. There were more than 30,000 people at every session, morning and night, of track and field.
Right. Right.
And at one point in time, the world went from the sublime to the ridiculous. The only thing left going on at the end of session 1 in the morning was the decathlon pole vault. This is usually when they usher people out of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
They were all allowed to stay. They all chose to stay. So there were 33,000 people watching a pole vault competition that was won at 5 meters 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So understand, it's not a comparable conversation to talk about, the fan base of the UK versus anything else. Like, they're incredible. They absolutely love this. And they will sit there forever to look at anything. And that's dope.
And they'll pay whatever the price of the ticket is.
Or whatever it is, right? And so that was a huge takeaway for me. Now, let me say this, and I'll probably make some people mad. As dope as the Commonwealth Games are, I'd much rather see it go away, because the colonizer games aren't actually politically correct in any sense. Okay.
100%.
Not at all. I'd much rather see an off-year event, where it's what's the word I'm looking for? Can we get a continental games?
See, continental games would be absolutely dope.
The World
Right,
Cup.
right. Can we get Africa versus Europe versus America? You know what I mean? Like, since we fix everything else in the culture that is not PC, Commonwealth Games is not PC. And as dope as it is, we can have it in London. Just, I'd much rather see something like that. But it was a phenomenal event, and the 4x4 conclusion was epic. I don't care what the time was. The races were great.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Right. Races were phenomenal.
So I will chime in, and I have a very unique perspective, having competed at 2 Commonwealth Games. One when I was 16 years old, 1990 in New Zealand, Auckland. And then the second one was in 2002, where I won a bronze medal, first Commonwealth bronze medal for the Cayman Islands. And here's how I would compare it. And it's like comparing SEC conference meet to NCAA meet. Okay, when
I can rock with that.
If the SEC meet, let's put it this way, and Sir Lucius can confirm this. If the SEC meet was held in the right place, not a revolving or whatever, if the SEC meet was held in the right place where the SEC teams could readily get to, and there was a much more
Atlanta.
of a,
Just put it in Atlanta.
right? Look, it would be insane. It would be absolutely insane. I'm willing to bet good money that that would happen. Now, what the Commonwealth Games is, and you know, it is an opportunity for all of these colonized countries to show big bad Mother Britain, Mother England, that they are on that level. And it's not said, it's not something that is talked about or whatever, but you can best believe, and if anybody paid attention to those relay events and those sprint events or whatever, we saw some performances from some people, right? Inspired? That doesn't even begin to describe the relays. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I'll say
we
this:
hadn't
the
seen-
English feel the pressure.
yes.
Oh yeah. You can watch. You can tell that
100%.
looking at the
Absolutely.
TV.
100% they
Absolutely.
do.
So it's
Or if
funny.
you follow Mitchell Blake on social media, he talks about that
Absolutely.
we got to line up. We got to get it done. Yeah, he talks about it.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, when you saw what's her name from USC on that anchor leg running down
Constantine.
Constantine.
oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Constantine, yeah.
And you might ask the question, where's that been? Right? But you can best believe in that moment, putting Canada on her back, oh, she had no choice. In her mind, she had no choice. Right? And as you know, to basically put it in a nutshell, you kind of have to be there. You have to be there to kind of understand what that atmosphere is like. It's kind of sealed off because the rest of the world is looking at it from the standpoint of, well, so England really colonized all of these countries? Like, it's
Yes,
like
they did.
mind-boggling, right? Did this really happen?
They're this small. England is
Dude,
this big.
They colonized all of 2 continents, folks.
It's
They colonized
crazy.
Australia and Africa.
It's absolutely crazy, you know.
crazy.
So all that being said, there's definitely an us against them mentality, meaning everybody outside of England against England. That's
Yeah.
what it is, you know.
That's
so
actually
it
100% true.
gives another dimension, you know, where you're going to go out there and you're going to show yourself for sure.
That's funny. Now we just need to figure out how to get it broadcasted over here, because that was the hardest thing. That's just me
I
being
mean,
wimpy.
but to that point, why would they broadcast it, right?
Exactly.
Why would,
They ain't
especially why would they
paying. This ain't our
broadcast it
game.
here?
Yeah.
Why would they broadcast it here, right?
I know.
It's like the
Yeah.
netball championships being shown in the U.S. Like, that's not going to happen.
No.
So,
No.
For the record, I will say this. There's a couple takeaways from there. One, netball is an amazing game. It would
Yes,
never
it
work
is.
in the United States because of basketball, but I will tell you this. If I was at a mid-major school, I would probably be looking at some netball players because they have some skills that definitely translate, including the ability to shoot jump shots without a backboard.
Without a
I'll start with
backboard.
that.
Netball
All
and
net.
handball. Netball and handball.
Okay.
Dope sports. Dope sports.
2, and this is probably one of the dopest takeaways. The Commonwealth Games is competed as I mean, I guess the best way I can explain it, a Paralympics and Olympics simultaneously.
Mhm.
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 So I went to the practice track, and the first 3 lanes were blocked off for wheelchair running, and there
Mhm.
was cones. And then, so you got your distance runners, you got your sprinters, your hurdler. Everybody shared the same track.
Yep.
It was a wild and incredibly awesome circus to watch and be a part of.
Yeah.
And I got to watch. I watched both a young man and a young lady break world records in the discus with one leg.
Amazing.
Wow.
And I mean, they threw like the guy threw almost 50 meters.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is far.
Yeah, it was wild.
We need to talk to this dude.
I know. So his name is.
He's not in the portal, sir. You
I was
can't
just
have
about to say he's not in the port. He's not in the portal. You cannot have him.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Well,
all in all, Commonwealth Games sold over 1.5 million tickets
Yeah.
wow.
in Birmingham. Like, we're not talking about London.
right.
We're talking about Birmingham.
Hmm.
It's
It's their
insane.
thing. It's
Insane.
their thing.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, even the opening ceremonies, those were fun. They were lively. There was a vibe to them. So like, it's all exciting. Maybe we redirect the essence of them, but I mean, you can see, with and I say select, but obviously it's a lot, with a specific group of people, things can be manifested, right? We can put this intention behind it and celebrate, have fun, do great things, because great things came out of Commonwealth, and put it at a high level. So,
And then lastly, like,
yeah.
getting back to the whole medal table, right? So listen to this. So Australia had 67 gold, 57 silver, 54 bronze, right? England had 57 gold, 66 silver, 53 bronze, right? So again, back to the whole gold is everything. If
Right.
I mean, if England gets 2 more medals they get the same amount of medals that Australia did, but Australia wins by virtue of having the most goals. Yeah.
Very strange.
Weird.
What's next, Chu?
So, in honor of what Sir Lucius has been doing for work for the last week, give or take. It's a little circuit called the Diamond League. Nothing big, whatever.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the portal.
Oh, stupid.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay,
So
we're
what you
going
don't-
to address the portal later, but not right now.
He's been getting busy with a specific few athletes with the Diamond League meets, and there's more to come, obviously. But what has that been looking like for you specifically, since you're there, Sir Lucius? Well, I can't say that today.
Oh,
Say again now? I'm
oh
sorry.
no.
Yeah, so that's okay.
We're going to the Diamond Leagues, and since you're there in person, we open with you.
Okay, well, I wasn't in Poland, but I was in Budapest, so I talked to the people that were in Poland, and talking to the guys that were in the 100, the big class with Bracy and Brumell and those guys, and Brumell pulls it out. It was Poland started it all. Shelly-Ann is clearly not from this planet.
Nope.
I just call it what it is. I mean, it's just.
By the way,
she's not.
Shelly-Ann was in the village of Commonwealth. Like I ate a meal with Shelly-Ann.
Oh, cool.
So she went from
And
there.
I will
to
tell
Poland.
you this: like, I shared a van or two with her when we were in Budapest, and shared a meal with her here in Monaco. She is absolutely hilarious. Just hilarious. Yeah, hilarious. But back to the competitions. I mean, I honestly don't remember everything that happened in Poland. I just remember it was like Mike. Well, first of all, the thing that's telling me about Poland is Michael Norman is growing into who we thought he was always going to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And very, very happy for him and to watch him do that in Poland. And then, I'll go on to Budapest. Like, Shelly-Ann again proved not to be human. Sharika Jackson jogs 22 flat. And folks, if Sydney McLaughlin ever comes to a meet within 500 miles of you, get in your car, pack up your children, pack up your grandchildren, pack up their friends, go to the meet, because it is the most incredible thing you're ever going to see.
It's the best show. It's the best show.
It's just, exactly. It's incredible because she's this classy young lady who does everything in the right way, and when she shows up, she puts on a show that you will never forget. watching her just to tell you what her dominance is, like the two girls that were chasing her in Budapest ran 54 seconds. They take her out of the race and they both ran 53 tonight here in Monaco, right? just like a full second faster because Sid's not here. We got a chance to win, right? So please do yourself that favor. I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen. It's just simply the old phrase of poetry in motion. That is Sydney McLaughlin.
Yeah. She's got the 6 fastest times now ever run.
Something like that. And then you go to, there was a Jasmine Camacho Quinn sighting. She was clearly having some issues with her start. She figured her start out. It wasn't what she wanted to be, but it was better in Budapest. She runs 12:27. The only win they did race in the meet was hers at 2.4, right? The only one. The only one.
You
talk about the young. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the Budapest meet is consistently, and I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way. It's consistently the best of the second level competitions every year. Right?
That's what it is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's always good, and I think a lot of that has to do with where it always fits in the schedule. It's like the perfect place to go in between or on your way to Monaco, right? And like every year, it's great. And so
it's what Zagreb used to be.
There you go. Like for me, this season, the Diamond League season this year is so uniquely interesting to me because it's all coming after the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
And if you have any appreciation for what that really, really means mentally for these athletes, like we had the Super Bowl, we crowned the world champions, we got the gold, silver, bronzes, that's all done. Now, what is this thing worth to you? What are you going to go out there and do? What's your motivation? Why is it happening? And oh yeah, by the way, European championships are on the way. Commonwealth just finished, right? So it's like everybody has different intrinsic motivation to do or not do this thing. And when you see Shelly going out there doing what she do, when you see Noah went out there and dismantled the 200-meter field tonight in Monaco, right? It's like, yeah, it's still really entertaining and people really still care about it and they're getting out there and doing what they do. And then you have Sid. Like Sid's in the stands at Monaco with her husband, like, y'all got it. You know what I mean? Like, y'all got this thing. And so to Lucius's point, like, wherever you are in the world, if you have an opportunity to go watch these people compete, you better get out there and do it because you may never get to see it again. Like, who knows what Sydney's going to choose to do moving forward? She doesn't need to run this event anymore. On a B minus day for her, she's 3 seconds better than the rest of the world. So, like, get out there and watch it because there's some incredible stuff going on right now. And I saw a comment today in reference to Shelly. Shelly's run 10.6 4 times this year?
This year.
Five this year.
And some people are like, how is this possible? Or, talking about her peaking and all this other stuff. I have a question. Like, why are y'all assuming she peaked? Why are you assuming that when she opened her season with a 10.6 at altitude, Kenya for sure, but when she did that, why are you assuming that her and her camp didn't be like, oh, you know what? World Championships is in the bag. Why don't we just go get this record in September?
Yep.
Like, don't assume that she's peaked herself out because there's no evidence for that. Just saying.
Zero evidence for that. I mean, and that goes back to something we talked about last week. People talk about peaking, and one of the most overused terms in track and field is burnout.
Right.
And like I said last week, when the governor was trying to give people a pass because they didn't have enough time to get ready for Worlds, Shelly Ann figured it out.
That was me,
right? Well, that was definitely you. You and the mayor, the governor and the mayor were giving out free passes last week, and we weren't having that. At the end of the day, like, Shelly Ann's another one. If she was within 500 miles, pack up everybody, take 3 or 4 cars, and go see her.
Yeah.
Because speaking of that, tonight here in Monaco, and when you stop, I mean, that may have been the deepest 100 ever.
Oh, yeah. It was.
Third place was 1072. Second
That
was
was insane.
1071. Seventh place was 1096.
Yes. Yeah.
And we threw this out there before. I'm gonna keep saying it because you really got to be a fan of the sport the train that is Ta Lu / John Smith
Yes.
is coming.
Yes, it is.
I said that earlier today at lunch. I was like, listen, she ran
It's year one.
She ran 1072 in year one with JS. That is a gigantic boulder-sized problem next year.
Yep.
Here's a bigger problem for people. She ran 1072 and he wasn't here.
Wow.
Ooh.
Right.
Wow.
Because y'all know what happened when that dude sold up, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
There was a Marquise Dendy sighting.
So you must have been in my brain. I was like, if anything else,
Yeah.
I mean, we're bringing back the bucket hat.
What's
That's
up with that?
This was a very, very good day for the Gators and Gator alums. Marquise, and I had the pleasure of working with Marquise. I'm videoing stuff and sending it to Nick, and having conversations. And he jumps 831 and 830 today. That's probably his best series he's had in forever.
No, that's you. That's you. Nick doesn't get to do that because he wasn't here.
Oh no, look, we fired Nick today. Don't worry about it.
Lord.
We fired him right after the 831 job. He got fired, so don't worry.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Can I stick something in there that like, look, we get so used to seeing all these great things, right? People gloss over this stuff and they're just not paying attention. Like two things. One, you alluded to it 2 weeks ago, Sir Lucius. Like, listen, Grant Holloway is a national treasure, and I need all of you to stop doing the other things that you're doing and stop putting these ridiculous, he hasn't run 12.5 type thoughts in your head. Grant's slowest race this year is 13:12.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Right? Like, and the man just ran under 13 seconds. Like, hello, pay attention. The dude is great. But this is the one, y'all. This one, talk about hiding in plain sight. Trey Cunningham has run 10 races between 13:00 and 13:11. That dude's run 13:0 10 times this year.
Yeah.
And hasn't run under 13. So because he hasn't run under 13, right? People are acting like he's not good. I'm like, guys, this isn't even his first year out of school.
Right.
Can we just say bad birthday?
No.
Birthday.
No, to that point, right? I really want to pause on the 110 hurdles for a second because it's just too easy to be petty here. Look, first of all, Trey Cunningham isn't even a rookie. Okay. Nope. He was in college this year. His rookie season will be next year. All right. So Trey Cunningham has had an incredible year, and for him to still be out there competing and run the way he ran today is incredible. Yeah. But what was the narrative coming out of Worlds? There's a whole bunch of people out there in the Twitterverse and the social media space that are trying to put an asterisk behind Grant's world championship because XYZ wasn't there. Well, short of Devin Allen, who's now playing football, everybody was on the line tonight, and it was still Grant followed by Trey.
Right.
So how many more times you want to see this?
Followed by Parchment.
Followed by Parchment.
Right. Yeah. So how many more times you want to see this? Like I'm so over that narrative. I don't want to hear it just because he didn't run the race that you think he's capable of. And maybe Lucius isn't particularly happy with the final time. Who knows? But he wins.
Okay, so
he wins.
I want to speak to this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, for all you people who think you know, who don't know, just shut your damn mouth. Okay, I'm tired of it because I'm going to say, excuse my language, Micah, and everybody else. I could give a shit what y'all think. Okay, the man is a world champion. He's an Olympic silver medalist. He's a collegiate record holder. He's done everything that I've asked him to do. Okay, and someday, folks, sooner than you think, he's going to do the things that y'all think he's capable of, but it's just not time yet. Okay, but you have to stop putting what you think should be done, because 99.9% of y'all either have not coached a hurdler, or if you have, you never coached one ran faster than 14 seconds. So get out my space. Leave us alone. I'm good.
I wasn't even trying to poke the bear. I just wanted to shine light on two incredible seasons that nobody's paying attention to.
But Clyde is right? Everybody in the Twitterverse, everybody in the social media space has their thoughts and ideas on what Grant should be doing.
100%.
Okay. So when Alan Johnson compliments what we're doing, when Skeets Nehemiah compliments what we're doing, when David Oliver compliments what we're doing, when Aries Merritt compliments what we're doing, I'm good.
Mhm.
Now, those are four of the best to ever freaking do it.
Yeah.
And they all think that we're on the right path. So I'm good. So if look, when the world record holder tells me when he figures it out, he's going to take the world record someplace we may never see it again. Okay. Just got to let him continue to figure it out. You know?
Dude wins, period.
Exactly. So, I was able to, work with Dindy. Runs, he jumps, 831. Grant runs 1299. Arian runs 1984. I had a heck of a year tonight. Right?
A heck of a year in one night. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then Gator Grade, I had nothing to do with this. Corey McGee runs 4 flat to 1500. We had a great, the Gator, we had a great week. We had a great career tonight. We did. And I'm very proud of Grant. He was a little, off 2 nights ago. Ran 13-12 and went back to kind of that demon that he's dealt with for a long time. We sat down and had a very serious conversation and a little film study, and he fixed those things tonight. And that's what true champions do. You run 13-12, you don't goes the way you're supposed to, and then you come back and say, here's 1299 for you.
And I still want to say, folks, the man ran 13-12 and it was an abomination. 13-12.
The bad race.
The awful race, the worst race of the season. Like the coach, we got to get in the lab and fix this. He ran 13-12.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that goes to talk about all the names that have been brought up recently: the absence, the misfires, the horrible races, the horrible jumps, the horrible throws, whatever it is. That's all indicative of a whole entire season. So why is it that everyone's jumping on their backs and is like, they're horrible, they need a new coach, they're doing the wrong things? No, that's part of the trial and error of athletics. Not athletics, sport.
That was beautifully said. And this is my angst with the Twitter twits, with the Instagram idiots, with the Facebook fools.
I love it. Yes. I love all of those alliterations.
Because they don't know. Yeah. They want to send somebody packing. Okay. I had this discussion. I'm going to call his name out. And I had it. I called him on the phone. Lamont Johnson is bad mouthing Sha'Carri Richardson's running technique. The child ran 10-7. So I called him on the phone. What's the fastest bro you've ever coached? With pride, he sticks his chest out 11:48. You know how far that is from 10-7? You see what I'm saying, folks? Okay. So let's learn to appreciate. This isn't just about Grant. No, this ain't about Grant. It's about a lot of people. Okay. Because before long, it's going to be Melissa Jefferson or somebody else, right? Needs to move. Quit moving people from the place. Let's just take her. And because I think that what her coach did this year was phenomenal. That child was 10 flat in high school. 12 flat in high school. 12 flat. No, 12 flat. Yeah, we were both way off on that one, right? I was further off. Okay. She was 12 flat in high school. She runs 1069, 1082 legal, and the first thing people says, well, why is she moving?
Right.
And that's the problem with our sport.
Right.
Because those people that I just talked about want to tell people where to go and how to be coached, and they never coached anybody. The people that want to tell me how to fix what's wrong with Grant, you've never coached anybody that's done the things that Grant has done. So how can you help me fix him? Right? And the people on the panel know that We don't see that in practice, do we, folks? Because y'all seen the videos.
Nope.
Right? So it's gonna be okay. But y'all quit trying to fix other people's mess and take care of your own. Okay, like I always tell the people that want to be critical of what's going on, get in the arena. Come fight with us. Because I'm gonna be is Budapest next year? I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you want to be critical? Come be in Budapest with me, and then I might allow you to talk a little bit of trash. But I'm not gonna allow you to sit behind your iPad or your phone or your computer and talk trash about people who are in the arena getting it done. Right?
So I can't miss this. We shouldn't miss this from Monaco. Two incredible performances. Tori Franklin jumped a huge PR in a losing effort today in the women's triple jump.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to stop for real quick. What's the best girl's name, Chris? I'm sorry.
Yulimar
Rojas.
She's a freaking cheat code.
Yeah.
100%.
Like it's just like her and Sid are the same person. Like you're not beating them.
No.
Right?
No.
And so, but the thing is like Tori Franklin comes down on the last three nonsense. She knows she's not going to beat her. Boy, did she go! But I was in the stadium and watched this. She went for it and she came out of the pit. She knew right away it was a big jump. Now she knew she didn't win, but she knew it was a big jump. That was phenomenal to watch.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a fan of the triple jump, especially an American fan of the triple jump, I mean, we don't have a lot of success in this event. Tori's carrying the flag right now. She's doing a great job. Like you really should pay attention to her and maybe learn a little something because she doesn't jump like American women typically jump. There's some
because she's not coached by an
going
American coach anymore.
She's not coached by an American coach anymore.
Exactly.
She doesn't even live in
because
the
she
States.
was an absolute mess indoors, and now she's that chick outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Right.
And then the other one.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
No, go ahead. The other one for me is who I'm a huge fan of. Faith Kipyegon just barely missed the world record in the 1500.
Yeah.
And let's get it. She was out there by herself the last lap and a half. Like, an incredible race. Incredible race.
And I'm going to say this: it's extremely expensive to come here, but if you ever get a chance to come to a track meet here, please come.
Yeah.
Because the electricity in this place, and it's not like, I mean, there's a big crowd. They're not falling, they're not falling all over each other, but it's a very large crowd for this stadium. But they cheer for everything, and they cheer loud for everything.
Monaco's
it's one of the most unique stadiums on the planet. I mean,
it's on the fourth floor of a building.
On the roof. Well, it's literally on the roof.
It's on the roof
of the Monaco Sports Center. Like there's a pool, there's places to work out. There are like 3 levels underneath. You take an elevator up to the track. It's unreal. I mean that is one of those.
So here's something that we learned today, right? So the track is in Monaco. The Marriott that everybody stays in, right across the street, it's in France.
Yeah,
it's in France.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's in Nice, right? So you literally walk across the street and you're in a different country.
I mean, Monaco is literally a hillside. Like the country is literally a hillside. That's it.
See, and it's an incredibly beautiful hillside. I want to tell you that. Right? And so the way to distinguish it is when you're in Nice, the sidewalks are gray. When you're in Monaco, they're red.
There you go.
So you literally walk down this sidewalk that's gray. You walk around this little thing, and the other side of the street, they're red.
And for people to get a true understanding, we had a camp leading up to the 1999 World Championships, and no, this was 2005, and 1995, and after the Monaco meet was over, so the free breakfast went away, the free hotels went away, all of that went away. Then it was at that point we as a group got an idea of just how expensive that place is. And And the biggest indication, I remember going to McDonald's and it was $20. It was $20 to get a burger and some fries and a milkshake. And I'm just going, okay. So after the first day, I kid you not, after the first day, we all piled into a cab and drove to Nice, and that's where we would eat. That's what we had to do. You know, we're on an athlete's budget. We're not on, big time budget, but Monaco is, it's one of those like fairy tale la la lands that, you have to just go just to appreciate it. You can go enjoy the scenery and then move on with your life, because living there,
it's not even possible, because it's not even just the money. You literally have to get a written invitational from the Prince of Monaco.
Yes. Yeah.
To live there?
To live there, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
And there are rich people who have been denied.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So character counts, huh? Just kidding. Stop there.
A little bit.
Stop there.
A little
Stop
bit.
there. Stop there. All right. Well, let's switch lanes. And he doesn't know this.
Before we go further,
Yeah.
I have to give props to Chris's favorite shot putter, Joe Kovacs.
Hey.
He's a monster.
Hey.
Yeah, because he steps in the ring on his sixth throw, throws 2180 something to win the meet in Poland. And then 2 nights later, he just says, you know what? I ain't fooling around with y'all. Here's 2289 in like the second round.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Y'all want to chase something, chase that. So
Yeah.
got to give Big Joe props. Got to give Big Joe props.
I mean, he has to get ready to come back to his volunteer position, so he might as well do it now.
And I understand that they may be expecting twins, is what somebody told me the other day. So,
Oh, not maybe. They are expecting very large twins.
yes. So there's a reason for you young coaches to stick around, that maybe you'll get to coach one of them, but I doubt Ashley's having that. So
Good luck with that.
yeah, I doubt Ashley's having that.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, Commonwealth Lamar, you're up for Would You Rather this afternoon, evening, whatever it is.
Oh, geez. All right. This is a welcome surprise.
Right. So, are you ready,
it's
sir?
Thursday. It's Thursday here already, buddy. So.
All right. Seatbelts on. Would you rather be the best at one thing or really good at several things?
Ooh,
You're going to ask a decathlete.
Right.
Yeah,
Career
that's
decathlete. That question.
Exactly. He's got to figure it out.
You know what? Because I've lived the life of being really good at a lot of things, I would like to try to be the best at one thing.
Got it. Right.
Like
I thought that was.
If I could jump,
Or you could be the best
896,
decathlete, which would make you the best at everything.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that was my goal in life. So,
And then I follow up with this question: would you rather eat a McDonald's quarter pounder or a Popeyes chicken sandwich?
a Popeyes chicken sandwich every day of the week.
That's funny.
Over a quarter pounder.
All right.
Would you rather run a mile every day for 26 days or run a marathon?
Okay. You do know who you're talking to, right?
That's why I thought it was funny.
Oh my
No, that's
God.
hilarious, is what that is.
You said a mile every day for
right, Commonwealth?
For 26 days.
Oh, okay. 100%. I'm going to choose the run a mile every day for 26 days.
Yes.
Because let me just tell you something. If I tried to run a marathon, like and not walk, I'm probably going to die.
Oh, Lord.
Would you rather always be cold or always be hot?
Always be hot.
Would you rather be half of your height or double your weight?
Oh.
Ah.
Well, that's a simple one. That's a simple one. I'd rather be fat than short.
Okay.
See, so this is tailored for him because he's such a size elitist.
I for sure am. I would rather be fat than short.
Would you rather put your hand in a box of unknowns or wear a hat full of red ants?
Hand in a box full of unknowns.
Got it.
Because I know where the red ants are going. I stepped in a red ant hive once, and I'm not sure my right leg has recovered from that.
Would you rather know what race you're going to win or what race you will lose?
Oh, Jesus. I guess I'd rather know which race I was going to lose.
Got it. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Could you imagine the confidence in that, though? If you knew which race you were going to lose, that means you could just talk all kinds of smack in all the other races.
All the other races.
But what if it was the Olympic race?
You know what? It's okay.
Final?
You know what? That's okay. If I knew I was going to win 5 world championships like Shelly Ann, I'd be all right with it.
See, and I'm glad you said that, because, you know, there's always this distinction of people like, you know, you lost at the Olympic Games. You were in the Olympic Games final.
Mm-hmm.
You were in the World Championship final. You were one of 8 of the best people. You're one of the 8 best people in the world. Let's say I'm gonna take my L. Now, you know, that's how we do. We're gonna come back and fight again. But I was there. Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so would you rather have one of your children play in the NBA or the NFL?
I'd rather one of my children play in the NBA, A, because I love basketball. I love football too, but I love basketball. But B, they're going to be able to play with my grandkids when they get old.
Yes.
Sorry.
And their money is guaranteed and they make more money.
This is true.
I mean, average dudes who are absolute hot trash in the NBA make $28 million a year.
Right.
True story.
All right. This is a either or. The Jurassic series of movies or Mission Impossible series of movies?
Jurassic.
Really?
The whole series?
Yes.
The Jurassic Park movies as a whole series. Look, first 2 or first 3, the MI series is better.
Yeah.
But it falls off fast. It falls off fast. But that's a good question, though. That's a really good comparison.
All right, so I'm gonna throw a simple and easy one inspired by the question that the governor just threw out. You've been very busy lately? Have you had a chance to see Top Gun Maverick?
100%.
It's amazing. If you haven't
100%.
seen it, anyone who hasn't seen it, you're playing games. Like, go see that film. Chew, you are.
Chew.
Oh my God, Chew.
Stop playing games.
I tried to take her.
Chew, when you want to go, Chew?
I tried to
just let me know.
Listen to me. In the theater, you have to go.
Okay.
It's that
It'll happen.
We'll have to find a cross country meet, Governor.
Absolutely.
We'll use a cross country
Or
meet.
you guys come to Tom Jones next year, and we'll have it on the theater at the house.
There you go.
With all due respect to that theater, which is
right.
Amazing.
Amazing. Yes.
You have to see that movie in a real theater experience.
It's just like the first one. In that,
it is different.
Once the first one came out, right? Every single store that was trying to show off their surround sound, like that they were trying to sell surround sound speakers, they used that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's you got it, like that's how you got to see it. It's the same kind of thing. I'll say this about the movie. Sequels are really tough to pull off and have them be comparable to the first one, right? If you're a Godfather lover like I am, right? If you're honest, Godfather 1 is always going to be the best movie, but it's really only the best movie because it's first. Godfather 2 is actually a superior film. We're in the same general realm. Both movies are spectacular in their own right, and the first Top Gun is going to be better because it's the first one. But because of the first one, this one is that good that it's actually comparable and maybe better.
Oh no, I'll take it's way better. To me, it's way
you
better.
Can't say way better because
I absolutely can.
Part of the reason it's way better is because of how deeply they connected the first one to this one. Like they did a phenomenal job.
Right. So it's easy to say that a cheap way to say it's way better is because obviously technology has changed in 30 years, right? And the cinematography is better and the action sequences are better and they could do cooler things with the jets. I ain't talking about all that. The fact that if you never saw the first one, the fact that you could go see the second one and totally understand everything that's important from the first one.
True story.
This one is better. Like,
true story.
The
It's
emotional
really
connection in part 2 was better than the first one. And I didn't think they could pull that off, but they did.
I mean, yeah, it's good.
We'll have to go do that then. I'll make sure I see it, I promise, in a theater. All right, wrapping up with heartbeat props, getting back to that habit again. I'm going to go first. And I'm going to say, I want to give heartbeat props out to all the parents who are getting ready to say bye to their kids for college, maybe for the first time or maybe for the last time, right?
Hold on a second. There is no such thing as the last time.
Well, no, last time in regards to college.
No,
Like this is
never use the term last time when saying goodbye.
Yes, that's
against
true.
the rules.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay, they're saying bye to their students to go away for school for the first time. I'm leaving it at that. You've done a good job, I promise you. And if you haven't, they're going to learn and they're going to be okay. So here's support, confidence, prayers, and hugs for all those parents who are getting ready to say bye to their children for their new adventures.
Can I go next? Because I'm late for something.
Joe.
Okay.
I don't know if heartbeat props is the right term, but this is important and it's an issue I care about. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Props to UK athletics for, the lifetime ban passed out on Tony Minicello for sexually inappropriate conduct. There are other people like this in our profession, and we got to get rid of all of them. I don't care who they are. I don't care how big their names are. I don't care what they've accomplished. These people don't belong in our profession. And so if you can credibly prove the cases against them, we need to get them all out. Pro, NCAA, high school, and beyond. There was other news this week about people working with high school kids that got exposed and are on their way to jail. Like, this is a very serious issue, and these people need to go. And for UK athletics to get this particular person who is very, in high esteem in the sport, get him out. Yeah, I'm with all of that. Let's get them all out.
Wow. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go next, if you don't mind, EP. I'd like to take a moment and kind of do a two-sided thing here. One, I said this a few weeks back, and I'm gonna say it again. Please pay attention to people around you. The mental health struggle is real. Don't take it for granted when someone is crying out for help. Please listen to them. Please, if you can't help them find somebody that can. Understand that people handle things differently. And if people are, dealing with something that you don't think is a big deal, it may not be a big deal to you, but it's a huge deal to them. So please listen. I also want to give RP props out to a guy that I spent 17 years in the trenches with me, was a very big part of us winning 9 national championships, many individual NCAA champions and SEC champions and SEC championship teams. My man, Stephen Lemke, Steve-O as I called him, he had triple bypass surgery last week. He's recovering nicely. But I would be remiss if I didn't give him a shout out. Get well, big fella. We know we love you and can't wait to get back on the lanes with you here soon.
I know. Isn't bowling starting soon? That's what I've been waiting to hear about.
2 weeks, baby. 2 weeks. It's almost that time. So
he doesn't want the kids back in town in 2 weeks, but he's ready to go bowl in 2 weeks.
Hey, look, we get back in Gainesville late Thursday night. I will be bowling at some point in time on Friday or Saturday. I promise you that.
Already knew. Already knew.
That's awesome. You know what? Look, I'm going to be a homer and I'm going to give my heartbeat props to somebody who I do know watches the show. They're probably going to laugh that I said this, but I'm going to give my heartbeat props to Legend, as we call him, because we just do what's in front of us, folks. And at the end of the day, to do 2 championship level decathlons in with a 9-day gap between them is cruel and unusual punishment. And to win the only Commonwealth championship for his entire country in the process, it was outstanding. And we don't actually stop and take a bow often enough during our careers. I think the governor would admit to that as well. And every now and again, we do have to stop, like take 30 seconds and say, yeah, that was pretty good. Let me give you one of these. Good job, fella. Look, 5th at Worlds and Commonwealth gold in a 9-day span is to be commended. And I would say, job well done, young man.
Well,
And let me say this real quick while we're on this. I have been beating this drum about proper planning and athletes getting things done. Well done, Commonwealth Lamar and Big League Chew.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I want to give heartbeat props to 3 island nations: Grenada, Trinidad, Barbados. Okay, and each one of those islands this year has had a major impact at the World Championship level. And you can't, having been in that realm and having been in that situation, I don't think people really truly understand the limited resources that are available. And, whether you're training in the United States or what, there's still the support system that has to be there, right? It's one thing to have the support of a federation of, that draws in millions of dollars and is able to fund you and to help you, from you start your training cycle in October all the way through, to help you with your travel, to help you with your supplements, to help you with all those basic things, to help you with therapy, right? It's another thing to come from a small island where, from a political standpoint, it's not necessarily the most sexy thing in the world, right? It's not necessarily the, outside of soccer in the Caribbean. Track and field isn't really the thing, except when you're talking about Jamaica, right? Jamaica is all about it. So for those 3 small island nations to do what they did between the World Championships and the Commonwealth Games, heartbeat props to those athletes, heartbeat props to those coaches, Big League and Lamar included, because that's not an easy feat. It's not an easy thing to do, but I'm so excited for this generation of athletes that are coming, and hopefully that helps the other small island nations, get in gear. And we all know the talent's there. It's just a matter of finding that right combination of coaching and support. And we'll see other island nations do the same thing.
Yay. That was a good one. That was a nice one.
Well said.
Well, with that said, we'll wrap up another fun episode of Athletics LLC. Good. Oh, just kidding. Lamar has his hand.
I had one challenge to our LLC followers. I found out about a new country. Obviously, the country's not new to me. While I was at Commonwealth Games, my challenge to you is to find a globe and find the country Isle of Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
It's
okay.
super tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, find it,
All right,
comment on
sorry.
it, and no, that's okay. Find it and comment on it. Screenshot. I don't know. I don't even know if you can do a picture into it, but anyways, Challenge served by Lamar. Let's see who answers that challenge. Everyone have a good weekend, leading into move-ins, leading into departures, whatever it is that you're doing in your lane, in your world in the next couple weeks, next week specifically. Be confident, move with pride, do well. We'll see each other soon. Bye, everyone.
When the lights come on, the road just get to running. When the lights come on, opponents smash the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot knife the butter. Truth pin 'em hard, knock 'em off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love, punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics, LLC, there's no others. Track and field's place and we'll peel to go further. Hey, Wile E. Coyote, it's road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass and failed and sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics, LLC, the task force.